All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you, students? All right. So, I'm good. I'm good. How have you been? Chaliye. So, if you want, you can open this session on YouTube. If you want, you can open this session on YouTube because it will be difficult for me to navigate between the two chats. So, if it is fine with you. Very good afternoon, Bhavani. How have you been? Chali, so today we'll be doing the previous year question discussion of an extremely important topic, which is environment and ecology. I'm supposed to take the PYQs of geography and environment together, but I have decided that I will keep separate days for each. For example, today we'll be doing the species based questions. Tomorrow we'll be doing the agriculture related questions from agriculture, from the geography portion. Because I think it is better to complete an entire topic or a domain than simply doing it year wise, etc. So this is the way that I'm going to continue the PYQ session. Let me know if you're fine by it, because let's say if I have to prepare agriculture, I have read the notes, and if I have all the previous year questions in front of me, I think my preparation will be much better rather than trying to scavenge out the questions on every agriculture every year. All right, so I think we'll work on this pattern. Everyone agrees to it? Everyone agrees to it? All right, so it's been a while since I've come live on YouTube, so I hope everyone is doing well. You had a good holy festival with your loved ones, and let us take up the first question. Now, before taking up the questions, I just want to give you a general analysis on how many number of questions are generally asked in your prelims. As you can see, as many as 30 questions have been asked indirectly or directly from the environment and ecology portion on the year in the year 2014, and somewhere between 10 to 20 to 22 you are getting these many questions every year. So this area, which is not very difficult, is easily tameable if you have the right strategy. Now, what exactly should be the right strategy for preparing environment, ecology and geography? As you can know, the basic has to be the geography portion. Your basics of geography have to be strong. Your basics of environment have to be very strong. Your basics of environment have to be very strong. Plus, you should know how to use current affairs. And today's session actually is the perfect example of how you can combine current affairs and the basics together to actually navigate this particular portion. Let us take the first question. Now, coming to the types of questions, by taking the first question, as you can see, few questions out of all will be ridiculously difficult. For example, this: which of the following pairs match each other? Reason being, I might be sure about 2 to 3, but then I will find it difficult to do the others. Now, what do you think should be the strategy? The strategy is keep an eye on the current. Now, when I say current, with respect to ecology, I need to take care of two things. One, the locations. What current locations were in news? What locations were in news in the current affairs? And second, the species or animal. For example, if any species is extremely important, then any location, wildlife sanctuary, national park, biosphere reserve, which is hosting that species also becomes important. And then you have to understand that northeastern states, since they have similar flora and fauna, similar physical setting become a little difficult for the students to remember because of the similarity when it comes to the vegetation and animals. So does anyone know the answer to this? Does anyone know the answer to this? Anybody? Alright, I've got one answer from Sonia, which is C, that all are correctly matched. I think we know about the Dampa Tiger Reserve. Are we sure about the Saramati Peak? Alright, so in the next 4 or 5 days, my target would be not to just give you the answers to these questions, but to also teach you how to navigate these questions. Alright, so this question is a homework for all of you, and you have to tell me 2 things apart from the answer. From Dampa Tiger Reserve, 1, location, then the type of forest that I find here, and the species. Same goes with the Gumti Wildlife Sanctuary, and same goes with the Saramati. Will you do that? Even if you know the answer, can you do this extra work? It will help you in your coming exam. It will help you in your coming exam. So with each PYQ, I want you to keep a pen and paper. With each PYQ, we are going to discuss the extra from each, and every day before the session, we will be devoting 10 to 15 minutes to discuss what were the homeworks or what were the assignments which were given yesterday. Are you okay with this plan? Are you okay with this plan? I think it will be useful. That is why you should actually study PYQs. As you know, the same question is never going to be asked. If the same question is not going to be asked, I should prepare it in a way that I can, answer the future questions. Then you have questions which are ridiculously easy. The questions which are ridiculously easy. Now, if I look at this question, this says that, which of the following is associated with the issue of control and phasing out of ozone depleting substance. Now, you have to understand the different protocols might be confusing, but these protocols are the basic protocols. For example, Kyoto Protocol was for what? Kyoto Protocol was for carbon credits. It was for carbon credits. Then you have Bretton Woods Conference. Bretton Woods Conference, does it have to do anything with the environment? No. You have the Montreal Protocol, where finally ozone depleting. So as I have written, it will be a crime not to be able to answer these kind of questions. So now what is your job? Since you have gone through this question, I want you to write down these 4 different protocols and conferences, and you have to give me 3 important points. Only 3 important points of each. You already know that Montreal Protocol, right? You already know that Montreal Protocol is for the ozone depletion. Now you have to tell me 2 other points, and for example, what were the important decisions or what were the outcomes of Nagoya Protocol. Always remember, the correct way of doing PYQs is doing 4 questions at a time. This is not just 1 question, this is 4 questions. So if you do your options correctly, if you do spend just 5 extra minutes on the options, if you're doing 100 questions, you're basically doing 400 questions. Because if you spend some time and write 3 points on each, you actually have 4 questions prepared from this particular area. And these kind of questions are extremely important, but sometimes they can become confusing. How many of you find them a little confusing when it comes to institutions and protocols? Right? A little confusion is always a possibility. Then comes the third variety of questions, which are the conceptual kind of questions. The conceptual kind of questions are the ones that you do not have the 100% accuracy in these questions, but if you know the basic concepts, if you have done the basic studies, reaching to an answer in these kind of questions is actually very, very easy. So this is basically 50% of your overall weightage of the subject. Yes, Ayush has given me the answers. Nagoya for biodiversity, Bretton Woods gave the World Bank and one more. Two organizations, Ayush. Very good. What are called the two Bretton Woods organization or offshoots of Bretton Woods? World Bank and anybody? Anybody? I think I've got an answer. IMF. Alright, so it is not just the World Bank, it is the IMF also, which is considered as the offshoot of the Bretton Woods. Alright. Now coming to the basics. In the basics, what are the fundamentals of ecology, the protected areas, types of species, environmental treaties, climate change, pollution, environmental laws, agriculture and soil. Why have I jotted down these 8 points? These are the areas from where in the decreasing order you get questions in your prelims. Majority of the questions, very good Sushmita, that is the correct answer. Majority of the questions come from the fundamentals of ecology. Now what do I have to read about the fundamentals of ecology? Let's have a very quick revision. When it comes to species, how many of you have a clarity on types of species, alpha, beta, gamma? How many of you have an idea what is species richness and species evenness? How many of you know the difference between the population or a community and how ecosystem is different from biome? What is niche? What is food chain? What are the different types of nutrient cycles and different types of pyramids along with succession? These are the core areas from the fundamentals of ecology which are repeatedly asked, have majority share in the question paper when it comes to environment and ecology. The second area which is asked multiple times is the protected areas. In protected areas, I have national parks. Location is difficult to remember, but keep looking at the map. Look around the rivers, hills. It is very difficult to remember all the national parks and almost impossible to remember all the wildlife sanctuaries because India has more than 500 wildlife sanctuaries. So in a country which has more than 500 wildlife sanctuaries, it will be extremely difficult to remember them all. But you have to keep looking for important rivers, important hills, locations, anything which is in news. Then the types of species. In types of species, you have one area which is called as the keystone species, then you have the pioneer species, then you have the critical links between the ecosystem, and you have the species interaction. How many of you remember species interaction, biotic interactions? You have symbiotic, you have commensalism. Do we remember all these basics? Yes or no? Do we remember all these basics, right? Then you have the environmental treaties, international organization and funding mechanism. Next area is climate change. Another area is pollution. I am getting repeated question both in prelims and mains from the pollution area, especially air pollution. How many of you agree? This year also in the prelims, you had question from air pollution, right? So if I am getting a topic repeatedly, then I need to have a better grasp over this particular area. Then I have the environmental laws of India. For example, you can get questions on the draft 2020 EIA notification. Then you can get questions on the topics of agriculture and soil. You agree? Right, you agree on that. Then you can get questions on agriculture and soil. In the COP26 this year, you got the first major agreement was against the land degradation and reclamation of degraded land. How many of you followed the COP26? Yes, Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. You're absolutely correct, Ayush. That is where I have the environmental treaties, protected areas. All right. Then you have the Environmental Protection Act of 1986. You have different types of Project Tiger, Project Vulture, Project Hangul, etc. All right. Agriculture and soil. the question which comes from this is mostly conservation related, which is combating the pollution, do we have a fair idea that even from the environment and ecology, which is the decreasing in terms of number, the quantum, now that you're so close to your prelims, you should remember that if I do this topic, how many marks is it worth? The ROI, which is return on investment, should always be in your mind. So you should remember, if I'm doing environment and ecology, which is nearly 18 to 25 marks sometimes, I have to cover all these 8 areas. All right. Can you please answer this question? This question is from the year 2011. This question is from the year 2011. Please take time to answer this question. So this question talks about a sandy saline area. This is a, yes, I was expecting a lot of you to give this answer. It is talking about a sandy saline area. It is the natural habitat of an Indian animal species. Animal has no predators in that area, but its existence is threatened due to destruction of its habitat. The key here, I've got just one answer, that is from Ayush. I've got just one answer. Yes. Both of you, Bhavani has also given me the answer. Is the population decreasing? Is the population decreasing due to destruction of habitat? This was the catch. If you see both of these are absolutely, we are sure that C and D cannot be the answer. C and D cannot be the answer. The confusion can only be between these two options, which is the Indian wild buffalo and the Indian wild ass. Now, Indian wild ass has been in news for creating a lot of menace. The population is rising exponentially here, but then is the population threatened is my concern. That is where the catch of the question is also. All right. A little surprising. I was considering that the Indian boar and gazelle cannot be the answer to that. But actually it is the chinkara. And what was the basic catch on chinkara? The basic catch was the threatening of the species due to destruction of habitat. I was 100% sure that these two should be the answer, but these two are not threatened, and this is not found here. But do you find chinkara or the Indian gazelle in this region? I am not even considering this animal because I have not read much about it. I am only concerned about two things. Tell me if this was how you were thinking. You were concerned about two things, that it has no predator. One was it has no predator, and second is sandy saline area. Tell me if this was the reason why you considered wild ass as the answer. Generally, students also consider wild buffalo in this answer, but the answer to this is Indian gazelle, because this animal is facing existential crisis, threatening. Yes. Do you see that this question is not very difficult, but the kind of mistakes we do in the exam? How many of you understood? There is a reason I kept this particular question as the first question. I was expecting you to go for these answers. So what are you going to do now? Since you know this question, now it is your job to first find the locations. Don't spend more than 5 minutes on each question. That is my request. So beta, Ayush, by that logic, the lion can eat the buffalo as well as the wild ass. By that logic, do you agree to that? Right? So your job will be spend only 5 minutes on this and write one, the locations where you find these animals and anything which is in news regarding them. Anything which is in news. This was a classic example of one animal being in news for a short span of time, but they framed the question in such a way that you were forced to think that they are talking about either of these two options. Either of these two options. Chaliye. So what is the answer to it? The answer is the Indian gazelle or chinkara, which is endangered, is a type of gazelle species which is in South Asia. Tell me chinkara, why chinkara was in news? The question is not about little run. The question, it simply said sandy saline. It said sandy saline, Ayush. Which slide? No. This is what I was expecting the student to be answering. Therefore, I have kept it there. Do we get an idea where we can get confused here? All right. This is other animals which are in the endangered category. These are also the Asian buffalo, the Asiatic buffalo, and the wild ass buffalo. It is a large bovine native to the Indian subcontinent. All right. I think the comments are slow. It also has been listed as endangered. All right, endangered. Chaliye, let us come to the next question, which is 2012. 2012. Chaliye, please give me the answer to this. Please give me the answer to this. Which one of the following groups of animals belongs to the category of, and one more thing, you will find many keys which were created right after the exam, which have given either A or B as the answer. Do not get confused there. Anyways, the question is not going to get repeated. The idea was to teach you how to prepare for species related question. One, know about the important species. You all know why chinkara was in news. Because of a case. Because of some important Bollywood actor being involved. So they have simply asked about that animal before without letting you know that they are asking about that animal. Chaliye. So which of the following groups of animal belong to the category of endangered species? I don't expect you to know this. But how do I prepare for this? Now, preparing for this can be done by two steps. First, you should have the critically endangered animals by heart. The first step is keep the critically endangered animals in your mind. Why critically endangered animals should be, on your tips? Because critically endangered animals, one, are the most vulnerable. Second, these are lesser in number. So they are easy to remember. Endangered, threatened are too many in number. You cannot possibly remember them. But I can remember critically endangered. So make a list of critically endangered animals. Second, important species. All right, we know about flagship species, right? We know about different type of species which are the poster species, extremely important. They are lynx, for example, tiger, rhino, then you have dugong, right? You have these species which are extremely important. So since they are extremely important, I should know their status. Rather than remembering status of all of these, if I do these two things, one, remembering all the critically endangered species, second, remembering all the important species, then it will be easy for me to come to the conclusion or get to the answer. All right. For example, in this particular question, I have the Great Indian Bustard, GIB. Great Indian Bustard, how many of you know about Great Indian Bustard? Great Indian Bustard is one of the 4 flightless birds. It is one of the 4 flightless birds, extremely important. But is it endangered? Is it critically endangered? Is it vulnerable, threatened? That I have to remember. Musk deer again is an important species. But is Asiatic wild ass also endangered? I'm not sure. Kashmiri stag or hangul is important. All right, snow leopard. Snow leopard, you have a snow leopard program. So I can by elimination come to a conclusion that which of these is going to be the answer. So all of you are absolutely correct. The answer is A, but here I want you to take out some time. I want you to take out some time and please write about these critically endangered animals. Can you see the slides? Please write about the critically endangered animals. Extremely important. You should have it in your notes, which is Jaipur ground gecko, Jaipur ground gecko. Let's do it very quickly. The status is critically endangered. Then you have the Great Indian Bustard, Great Indian Bustard, again critically endangered. This is the current status. This is the current status. The question has been asked long back. All right. So for current status for your upcoming exam, you should have this list. Then you have the Namdafa flying squirrel, which is again critically endangered. Then you have the Kolar leaf nosed rat, critically endangered. Then you have the slender billed vulture. Then you have the slender billed vulture, critically endangered. Then you have pygmy hog, Malabar civet, pygmy hog, sociable lapwing, pink-headed duck. This is lost in India. Which is the cheetah. Why have I included cheetah? Because you are again trying to reintroduce cheetah in India. All right. Then you have the hangul or Kashmiri red deer. So for current status, for the current times, if you have to remember, then try to remember all the critically endangered animals first. They are lesser in number, they are easy to remember. Please let me know if all of you have written it. Please let me know if all of you have written it. All right. Are these all the critically endangered animals? No, these are not all the critically endangered animals, but these are the animals which you generally do not know, or come across. Now, the birds, the critically endangered birds, again extremely important. These critically endangered birds are forest owlet, Jordan's cursor, Bengal florican, white-bellied heron, the Indian vulture, red-headed vulture, white-rumped vulture, slender-billed vulture. Again, make a different list for the birds. Birds especially are important. Why? Because now you have how many new Ramsar sites? What is the total number of Ramsar sites now? Total number of Ramsar sites. And are Ramsar sites extremely important when it comes to conservation of birds, different types of birds, right? So when it comes to if Ramsar site is something in news, then the critically endangered birds also become important. Now these are the birds with the name Himalayan quail and pink-headed duck, which are now presumed to be extinct. Please let me know when you're done writing. Please let me know when you're done writing. Yes, Pratyush. Very good, Pratyush. Very good, Shweta. Please let me know when you're done writing. All right. So now coming to the conservation program, which is IUCN. Now, do you want me to teach you or give you a brief about IUCN, or you will do it on your own? If you want, I can give you a brief about IUCN, because IUCN is also asked repeatedly in your exam. IUCN is the organization which actually talks about the conservation effort. All right. Do you want me to teach you about the IUCN, or you will do it on your own? Or you will do it on your own? All right. So IUCN stands for the International Union for Conservation of Nature. What does this union do? It provides scientific data on the status of species at the global level. What does it do? It basically addresses the factors of concern and spread awareness regarding the species. Third thing that you do is it plans a layout for the conservation of biodiversity. Who uses them? It is used by all the organizations which are working for the conservation. All right. So I think a lot of you are saying that it is okay, you will do. I'll just give the brief view for those who want. We won't spend too much time. Economic reform. But today is the environmental class. Environment and ecology. Chaliye. So these are the different categories. Is everyone fine with Hindi language? If everyone is fine with Hindi language, I can use both. Is everyone fine with Hindi? सबको हिंदी से कोई दिक्कत तो नहीं है हिंदी से? चलिए, तो आपकी IUCN जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, IUCN basically give the different types of criteria. For example, extinct is also two types, which is extinct in wild and extinct. For example, dinosaurs are extinct. Dinosaurs खत्म हो चुके हैं, एक्सटिंक्ट हो चुके हैं. एक्सटिंक्ट इन वाइल्ड इज दैट दे आर नोन टू सर्वाइव इन द कैप्टिविटी. दे आर नोन टू सर्वाइव इन द कैप्टिविटी. जैसे कि वो किसी जू में या बायोलॉजिकल पार्क में तो है, पर जंगलों में दे आर नॉट फाइंड, दे आर नॉट फाउंड इन द फॉरेस्ट, दे आर नॉट फाउंड इन देयर नॉर्मल हैबिटेट. तो इस तरह में अब मैंने एक्सटिंक्ट को दो कैटेगरीज में करा है, विच इज एक्सटिंक्ट एंड एक्सटिंक्ट इन दी वाइल्ड. विद इन दिस कैटेगरी ओनली आई हैव क्रिटिकली एंडेंजर्ड. क्रिटिकली एंडेंजर्ड का क्या मतलब है कि अगर हमने उनका कंजर्वेशन नहीं किया, अगर हमने उनका कंजर्वेशन नहीं किया तो बहुत ही जल्द वो पूरी तरह से खत्म हो जाएंगे. सो दैट इज वेयर क्रिटिकली एंडेंजर्ड comes into picture. They are facing high risk of extinction in the wild. फिर उसके बाद आता है endangered. Endangered का मतलब होता है very high risk of extinction in the wild. इसमें they are almost on the verge of extinction. Endangered में they are at the risk of extinction. Vulnerable में again these are degrees. सबसे ज्यादा रिस्क किसको है? Critically endangered, उससे कम endangered और उससे कम vulnerable. नेक्स्ट कैटेगरी इज लीस्ट कंसर्न्ड और नियर थ्रेटन्ड. लीस्ट कंसर्न, नियर थ्रेटन्ड. लीस्ट कंसर्न मतलब इनकी पॉपुलेशन स्टेबल है, इनकी पॉपुलेशन स्टेबल है और इनका फर्दर एक्सटिंक्शन होना बहुत अभी दिख नहीं रहा है, तो वहां पर मैं लीस्ट कंसर्न होंगी. और फिर नेक्स्ट इज डेटा डेफिशिएंसी. नियर थ्रेटन्ड आता है कि फ्यूचर में, अभी तो पॉपुलेशन स्टेबल है, अभी तो पॉपुलेशन स्टेबल है, लेकिन नियर फ्यूचर में दे माइट अंडरगो एक्सटेंशन. सो दिस इज हाउ IUCN हैज एक्चुअली गिवन डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ स्टेटसेस. कैसे करते हैं वो. अब आते हैं कुछ extremely important animals which you should have in your notebooks. Please write about the Himalayan brown bear. The Himalayan brown bear, इसका स्टेटस है क्रिटिकली एंडेंजर्ड. वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट में ये शेड्यूल 1 का जानवर है. नाउ ये जानवर क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है? जो हमारा वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट है, वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट 1972, इसका जो शेड्यूल 1 है, शेड्यूल 1 में जो जानवर आते हैं उसमें अगर उन जानवरों के रख रखाव में इफ देयर हैबिटेट, इफ दैट एनिमल इज हंटेड, अगर उनका किसी भी तरह से उनको मारा जाता है तो उसमें सबसे ज्यादा सजा होने के चांसेस होते हैं. तो इसलिए शेड्यूल 1 के जो एनिमल्स होते हैं उनको मैक्सिमम प्रोटेक्शन दी जाती है. ऑलराइट, तो मैक्सिमम प्रोटेक्शन इज गिवन टू शेड्यूल 1 एनिमल्स. एंड अगेन Himalayan wild bear is critically endangered. As I said that critically endangered animals are extremely important and you should know them by heart. ये मिलते कहाँ हैं? They are found in Himalayan region. They are found in Himalayan region, in the mountainous areas of Pakistan and India, and also in the Tibetan region. तो मुझे 3 चीजें पता चल गई. 1, इसका स्टेटस. 2, इंडिया में इसका स्टेटस क्या है. और 3, ये कहाँ पाया जाता है. ऑलराइट, नेक्स्ट एनिमल इज द कैरिकल. क्या इन जानवरों के बारे में हमने देखा है न्यूज में? ये जो कैरिकल है, अगेन वेरी वेरी क्विकली प्लीज राइट, ये क्यों है, ये क्यों है न्यूज में, या हम इसको क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं PYQ सेशन में? बिकॉज ये रिसेंटली क्रिटिकली एंडेंजर्ड स्पीसीज में आया है. और रिसेंटली क्रिटिकली एंडेंजर्ड स्पीसीज में आने के अलावा इंडिया का एक प्रोग्राम है जिसका नाम है स्पीसीज रिकवरी प्रोग्राम. इंडिया का जो प्रोग्राम है जिसका नाम है स्पीसीज रिकवरी प्रोग्राम, उसमें जो 22 वाइल्ड लाइफ स्पीसीज हैं उनके कंजर्वेशन के एफर्ट्स में एक जो स्पीसीज है वो है हमारा कैरिकल. अब यहाँ पे आपको एक चीज देखनी है, यहाँ पर आप कंफ्यूज ना हुई. अगर आप इस जानवर के बारे में गूगल सर्च करेंगे तो ऑन द ग्लोबल लेवल ये लीस्ट कंसर्न में आता है. ऑन ग्लोबल लेवल ये लीस्ट कंसर्न में आता है, लेकिन इंडिया में ये क्रिटिकली एंडेंजर्ड है. तो अगेन ये एग्जाम पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है. ये भी शेड्यूल 1 में रखा गया है, ये भी शेड्यूल 1 में रखा गया है. ये कहाँ पाया जाता है? इट इज फाउंड इन राजस्थान, कच्छ एंड पार्ट्स ऑफ मध्य प्रदेश, सो सेमी एरिड रीजन्स. semi-arid regions. Semi-arid regions. चलिए, before coming to the vulture plans, before coming to the vulture plan, have we seen multiple previous year questions on vultures? Multiple previous year questions on vultures. Why do you think you have so many questions on vultures? क्या कारण रहा होगा? Vultures के ऊपर इतने सवाल क्यों आते हैं? Any word? Anybody? Anybody? Why so many questions on vultures? चलिए, तो हमारा जो इंडिया ने एक प्लान बनाया है जिसका नाम है वल्चर एक्शन प्लान. ये जो वल्चर एक्शन प्लान है, दिस वल्चर एक्शन प्लान इज फ्रॉम 2020 to 2025. Please let me know if you are writing. Please let me know if you are making notes along with it, or you want to simply give me, or you want to simply give me the lecture without giving you time to write. कैसे करना है? Do you want to write notes alongside this, या फिर जल्दी जल्दी करें? Very good. So vultures are getting extinct due to climate change. Due to climate change. Very good. Environmental impact. Somebody said diclofenac. Diclofenac is a painkiller. Painkiller. Diclofenac has a reaction with the internal system of the vultures, which results in the death of vultures. तो अब क्या हो रहा है यहाँ पे? ठीक है, तो यहाँ पर ये जो वल्चर एक्शन प्लान है, इसके 3-4 पॉइंट्स हैं. इसके 3-4 पॉइंट्स हैं. डज एवरीवन वांट मी टू ओके, they are preserver of environment. Bhavani is saying they are preserver of environment. How do you call them preserver of environment? Are they the natural cleansers of environment? They are natural cleansers. They basically feed on the dead. They feed on the dead and hence are extremely important. So vulture action plan में सबसे पहले हम एक database बना रहे हैं. First part is database. So you are creating a database on emerging threats. किस चीज पर हम database बना रहे हैं? On emerging threats. Second, establishment of 4 rescue centers in Pinjore. 4 rescue centers in Pinjore. I'll just write for you here. Pinjore, Bhopal, Guwahati, हैदराबाद. ऑलराइट, यहाँ पर क्या बनाया जा रहे हैं? यहाँ पे बनाए जा रहे हैं रेस्क्यू सेंटर्स. और आप एक स्टेट में कम से कम एक वल्चर सेफ जोन बना रहे हैं. आपको ये नहीं याद होते तो आपको ये 4 लोकेशंस याद रखनी है. यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दीज 4 लोकेशंस. सेकेंड, रेगुलेशन फॉर द सेल ऑफ स्टेरॉइड्स एंड इन्फ्लेमेटरी ड्रग्स. डाइक्लोफेनाक इज एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ इन्फ्लेमेटरी ड्रग. सो ये पूरा याद ना करके वी कैन से दैट द सेल ऑन ड्रग्स, steroids plus diclofenac. Now, of course, you need steroids to survive. For many diseases, steroids are extremely important. So, sale for steroids and diclofenac is controlled, especially for animals. Then, conservation breeding program for 2 important varieties of vulture, 2 extremely important varieties, which is red-headed. ये हमने कहाँ लिखा है अभी? Red-headed and Egyptian. Red-headed and Egyptian. Have we mentioned? हमने कहीं mention किया red-headed vulture को? हमने कहीं mention किया red-headed vulture को? Recently? तो हमने उनके लिए एक स्पेशली कंजर्वेशन प्रोग्राम भी बनाया है. इसके अलावा हर 4 साल में देयर विल बी अ सर्वे एंड कंजर्वेशन एंड ब्रीडिंग सेंटर्स विल बी मेड. सो दीज आर द इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स ऑफ वल्चर एक्शन प्लान 2020 to 2025. ये जो वल्चर्स हैं जो कि इंडिया में पाए जाते हैं, these are the vultures which are found in India. Please write about all the 9 vultures and their status. All the 9 vultures and their status. Very quickly. Please let me know when you're done writing. चलिए, please attempt this question. Please attempt this question. Please attempt this question. Anurag, that won't be possible for me. I'll ask the people if they are okay with that. Chaliye. So, Irrawaddy is not Chambal and it is Brahmaputra. Where is Irrawaddy river, by the way? Where is Irrawaddy river, Indu? Chilka Lake, Eastern Ghat. Okay. Rusty spotted cats. Alright. I'm getting a lot of questions, which is option C, that all of these are correctly matched. All of these are correctly matched. Chaliye, I think we know the answer. We know the answer. The catch here was Irrawaddy river, Irrawaddy dolphin. Irrawaddy dolphin. Now, where is Irrawaddy river? Where is Irrawaddy river found? Where is Irrawaddy river found? Irrawaddy itself is a river. These are freshwater dolphins. Now, I can say that what is the difficulty level here? The difficulty level is much easy because Irrawaddy is a river of Myanmar. So even if I have to see that where will this typical type of species is found, then I cannot go to Chambal, which is a river in the western part of India, originating from Madhya Pradesh, then flowing through your Rajasthan and then entering the Yamuna region. So this cannot go to till that extent. So that was the catch here. That was the catch here. When it comes to blue-finned mahashir, even if I don't know any of this, this particular animal is extremely important. And if I know that this is incorrect, if I eliminate the options which has 2, I can easily come to the conclusion of C. So let us now very quickly revise about the dolphins. When it comes to dolphins, most important is the Gangetic dolphin. The Gangetic dolphin, why Gangetic dolphin was recently in news? Because how many of you have heard that the first observatory of gangetic dolphins has been set up in Bhagalpur. Have you come across this news? Have you come across this news? So you have the first observatory coming up in Bhagalpur. It is constructed at the Vikramshila Gangetic Dolphin Sanctuary. Extremely important for your exam. Now, these are about a few important traits of dolphins. I will simply speak. You do not need to write all of them. Just remember that they prefer deep water. So, your river should have good volume of water. They can only live in fresh water, and all the freshwater dolphins are blind. Why am I giving you details about this particular animal? Because such question was earlier asked about dugong. So yes, they can only live in fresh water. They are reliable indicators of the health of the ecosystem. So they can be used as the indicator species. Indicator species for aquatic ecosystem. Then of course we know it is the national aquatic animal. It is found in these river system, extremely important, which is Ganga, Brahmaputra. सॉइल पोल्यूशन का मीनिंग, सॉइल पोल्यूशन मतलब आपकी जो मिट्टी होती है उसमें जो आपका पोल्यूशन होता है, जैसे कि बहुत ज़्यादा फर्टिलाइजर डालना, बहुत ज़्यादा केमिकल्स डालना, अलग अलग टाइप के मेटल्स डालना, जिसकी वजह से जो मिट्टी है उसकी जो फर्टिलिटी है वो बहुत ज़्यादा कम हो जाती है. ऑलराइट, बहुत ज़्यादा कम हो जाती है. ऑलराइट, इट इज फाउंड इन दी गंगा, ब्रह्मपुत्र, मेघना, कर्णाफुली, संगू रिवर सिस्टम ऑफ नेपाल, इंडिया, बांग्लादेश. तो हमको रिवर्स भी पता चल गई और हमको कंट्रीज भी पता चल गई वेयर आई कैन फाइंड दी गैंजेटिक डॉल्फिन्स. नाउ दे आर ऑल्सो नोन एज सुसु बिकॉज ऑफ द साउंड दे प्रोड्यूस while breathing, and in India it covers 7 states. Again important, where are they found in India? They are found in Assam, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Bihar, Jharkhand and West Bengal. So these are the areas where I find gangetic dolphins. Apart from gangetic dolphins, the other dolphins which are found in India are Indus River. I have Indus River dolphin, endangered, endangered, endangered. So all dolphins in India are endangered. Which dolphins? Freshwater. So if a question comes on species, I know that all the dolphins are endangered. They can only be found in the lower parts of Indus River. यहाँ पर इंडिया में they are found in Beas. Beas, which is a river in Punjab. They have adapted to muddy water life and are functionally blind. They are state aquatic animal of Punjab. Next type of dolphin is Irrawaddy dolphin. Irrawaddy dolphin is also called as snub fin dolphin. It is also called as snub fin dolphin. Status again endangered. Apart from Irrawaddy, found in Chilka, South Asia's Mekong region and Ganga. And they prefer to live in the brackish water. So I have one dolphin which prefers to live in muddy water. I have Ganga dolphin which prefers to live in fresh deep waters. And then I have Irrawaddy dolphin which prefers to live in the brackish water. Then I have the humpback dolphin, Indian Ocean humpback dolphin. So it will be found in the ocean or saline water or marine water. It is found near the shore. It is found near the shore. And what are the areas? East Africa, Middle East, northwards, towards the northwards of ocean, Middle East and west coast of India. Middle East and west coast of India. Middle East and west coast of India. Abhishek, you don't have the time to feel all this, beta. Just you have to lift yourself up. This is March, 22nd March, and you have an exam on 5th June. 5th June. Alright. So you still have good 2.5 months in your hand. If you have done the basic reading, 2 months is more than sufficient for your prelims. 2 months is more than sufficient. You just keep on revising again. For any topic, go to the basics of the topic and then try to answer these questions. That will be better for you rather than simply going for the test series. Anyone who has taken up any test series, try to also find the options and related content. No question will ever be repeated. The idea of doing PYQ is to study around the PYQ so that a similar question if asked, you are in a position to answer. So Abhishek, my suggestion would be, I am a little practical person. I always tell in my class also, एक होती है अच्छी बात, एक होती है सच्ची बात. अच्छी बात ये है कि सब कुछ ठीक हो जाएगा, you will be fine in everything. सच्ची बात ये है that everyone around you is studying. You have to push yourself. You have worked very hard. You have invested a lot of time, a lot of your youth into this. Start studying. जितनी जल्दी पढ़ोगे, जितना ज्यादा कवर करोगे, the more you read, the more confident you will be. There is no alternative but to read. All right. So Abhishek, that is my answer to you, beta. All right. How to cover agriculture portion? I'll be doing it tomorrow. I'll be doing the agriculture portion tomorrow. All right. Chaliye. So we have done this question. Now coming to this particular animal. From which is found in the Chilka Lake region. Chilka Lake region. वो क्या होती है ना, पेप टॉक वगैरह अपनी जगह ठीक है, बट एज यू सी द लाइफ डज नॉट गिव यू अ लॉट ऑफ टाइम. ठीक है, तो आप को इस चीज को तो ओवरकम बेटा करना पड़ेगा. आई डोंट वांट टू साउंड रूड, बट आई एम एक्चुअली टेलिंग यू द ट्रूथ हाउ इट इज गोइंग टू वर्क आउट. ठीक है, चलिए. सो आई हैव द चिलिका डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी. Chilka Development Authority has designated one very important animal, which is fishing cat. Did you come across this name? Global warming. What is global warming? Chaliye, I have this, I cannot pronounce your first name, rich man who's asking me what is global warming. He has an exam of board today. Global warming is nothing when आपका अंग्रेजी, is it in English medium or Hindi medium? चलिए, so I have the fishing cat, ambassador of Chilka Lake. Why am I reading about it in my PYQ session? Because this particular animal has been in news a lot, and it is found in the mangrove region. It is found in the mangrove region, and due to destruction of mangroves, this particular animal is facing extinction. Let us know the areas where it is found. As you can see, it can actually fish from the ocean. तो ये जो पर्टिकुलर जानवर है, इसका नाम है फिशिंग कैट. ये न्यूज में चल रहा है आजकल. आजकल क्यों चल रहा है ये एनिमल? बिकॉज एक ये जो बिल्ली है, ये थोड़ी अलग टाइप की होती है. इसका स्टेटस है वल्नरेबल. ये शेड्यूल 1 का प्राणी है. हमको ये पता है कि शेड्यूल 1 के जो जानवर हैं, वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट में उनको मैक्सिमम कंजर्वेशन दिया गया है. तो ये इतना ज्यादा न्यूज में क्यों है? क्योंकि मैनग्रोव में जो डिस्ट्रक्शन चल रहा है, उसकी वजह से ये जो जानवर है, इसकी जनसंख्या कम हो रही है. द एनिमल इज फेसिंग एक्सटिंक्शन. तो ये क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है? क्योंकि ये फ्रॉग्स, क्रस्टेशियंस, हमको क्रस्टेशियंस समझ में आता है. डू वी अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आर क्रस्टेशियंस? क्रस्टेशियंस वो जानवर होते हैं जिनके ऊपर शेल होती है, जैसे केकड़े, क्रैब्स एटसेट्रा. ऑलराइट. सो बेटा, इफ यू हैव इंग्लिश मीडियम, व्हाट यू कैन राइट अबाउट ग्लोबल वार्मिंग, आई विल जस्ट टेक 2 minutes break, is global warming is nothing but a phenomena, is nothing but a. सौरभ, अभी हिंदी अपन चल रहे हैं, आई थिंक चलेगा, है ना? चलिए, तो ग्लोबल वार्मिंग एक फिनोमेना होता है. एक, हेलो अमित. So it is a phenomena in which, because of the greenhouse gases, कौन सी होती हैं greenhouse gases? कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड, कार्बन मोनोऑक्साइड, the oxides of nitrogen, oxides of sulfur, ये जो सारी गैसेस होती हैं, ये हमारे पृथ्वी के तापमान को बढ़ाती हैं. अब तापमान को बढ़ाने की वजह से ये जो आपकी जो इनकमिंग, आपकी जो सूर्य की किरणें होती हैं, आपकी सूर्य की किरणें जो आती हैं, जब ये वापस पलट के जाती हैं तो ये यहाँ पर एक लेयर बना लेता है, एक ब्लैंकेट बना लेता है। किसकी ब्लैंकेट? ग्रीन हाउस गैस की ब्लैंकेट। ये मेरे हीट आई और ये हीट वापस जा रही है, जिसको बोला जाता है व्हाट इज इट कॉल्ड? द हीट बैलेंस ऑफ अर्थ। तो ये यहाँ पर क्योंकि ये अटक जाता है, फंस जाता है, तो इस वजह से मेरा पूरा का पूरा वातावरण या पूरा का पूरा एनवायरमेंट हीट अप होने लगता है, जिसको बोला जाता है ग्लोबल वार्मिंग। ठीक है, तो 2 मिनट में इफ यू हैव अ बोर्ड एग्जाम, विच आई डोंट नो विच बोर्ड एग्जाम यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट अभी बच्चे, तो उसमें आप ये लिख सकते हैं। ठीक है, चलिए नाउ यहाँ पर जो सबसे बड़ा इशू है क्यों फिशिंग कैट है, दैट इज ड्यू टू लॉस ऑफ हैबिटेट। हैबिटेट का मतलब क्या होता है? जहां पे कोई जानवर निवास करता है। तो यहाँ पर आपके जो मैनग्रूव्स हैं, वेस्टर्न घाट्स में भी ये पाया जाता है, ये ब्रह्मपुत्र वैली में भी पाया जाता है, ये हिमालय के जो तराई वाला हिस्सा है, तराई वाला जो हिस्सा है वहां पर भी ये पाया जाता है, ये गंगा ब्रह्मपुत्र में भी पाया जाता है। और इसमें इस पूरे एरिया में अगर मैं देखूं तो ये सारे एरियाज बहुत ही वल्नरेबल हैं। ऑल राइट, हैप्पी टू हेल्प यू, हैप्पी टू हेल्प यू। चलिए, तो यहाँ पर क्योंकि हैबिटेट डिस्ट्रक्शन हो रहा है, इस वजह से आपका जो हैबिटेट लॉस है वो हो रहा है, और मेरी इनकी पॉपुलेशन कम हो गई है। 2012 में वेस्ट बंगाल ने इसको एक स्टेट एनिमल के रूप में घोषित किया था। इसके अलावा ये एक जानवर है, आई थिंक कितने लोगों ने इस जानवर के बारे में देखा था? चलो, ऑल द बेस्ट बेटा, ऑल द बेस्ट फॉर योर बोर्ड एग्जाम। Alright. So, how many of you saw this particular animal in your question paper 2021? 2021. कितने लोगों ने ये क्वेश्चन पेपर में देखा था? इंडियन पैंगोलिन। पैंगोलिन ये जो जानवर है, इसके लिए बोला जाता है कि ये दुनिया में सबसे ज्यादा, इट इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट हंटेड एंड ट्रेडेड एनिमल। दुनिया में सबसे ज्यादा अगर किसी जानवर का शिकार होता है या उसका व्यापार किया जाता है, वो उन जानवरों में से ये एक है। स्पेशली दी चाइनीज पैंगोलिन, स्पेशली दी चाइनीज पैंगोलिन। तो इसके बारे में हम जल्दी जल्दी से पढ़ लेते हैं। ये टूथलेस होता है, ये टूथलेस जानवर होता है, ये नॉक्टर्नल होता है, ये बरो बनाता है। बरो का क्या मतलब होता है? जमीन में गड्ढा करके जो रहते हैं जानवर, जैसे कि आपका रैबिट होता है। ऑलराइट, एंड ये इट एक्चुअली रोल्स, ये पूरा का पूरा रोल हो जाता है। ये इसका प्रोटेक्शन स्ट्रैटेजी होती है, ताकि यस अंकित, यू आर एब्सोल्युटली राइट। तो ये आपका उसकी वजह से ये जो पर्टिकुलर एनिमल है, so that it does not get hunted, it rules itself। चलिए, पैंगोलिन्स की टोटल 8 स्पीसीज होती हैं। 1 इज चाइनीज, सुंडा, फिलीपींस, इंडियन पैंगोलिन, और 4 अफ्रीका की स्पीसीज होती हैं। पाए कहाँ जाते हैं, कहाँ पर होते हैं? बांग्लादेश, इंडिया, पाकिस्तान एंड श्रीलंका। ऑलराइट, थ्रेट किस चीज का है इनका? हंटिंग, पोचिंग फॉर लोकल कंजम्पशन, यूज एंड इंटरनेशनल ट्रेड फॉर मीट एटसेट्रा। एक तो चाइनीज मेडिसिन का समझ में नहीं आता, वो किसी भी चीज से चाइनीज मेडिसिन में क्या यूज होता है, नो आइडिया। वन थिंग, डू नॉट गेट कंफ्यूज, दैट इज इंडियन पेंगोलिन जो है वो एंडेंजर्ड है, जबकि जो चाइनीज पेंगोलिन है वो क्रिटिकली एंडेंजर्ड है। दोनों को क्रिटिकली एंडेंजर्ड में नहीं डालना। ऑलराइट, दोनों ही शेड्यूल 1 का पार्ट है ऑफ वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट। फिर एक और जानवर जो कि क्रिटिकली एंडेंजर्ड है और न्यूज में था, वो है साल फॉरेस्ट टॉर्टोइज और इलोंगेटेड टॉर्टोइज। ये जो है, इसमें ये मेरे ईस्टर्न और नॉर्थर्न इंडिया और साउथ ईस्ट एशिया में मिलता है। यहाँ पर हेविली हंटिंग होती है फॉर फूड एंड इट इज कलेक्टेड फॉर बोथ लोकल यूज एंड डेकोरेटिव मास्क। ऑलराइट, प्लीज अटेम्प्ट दिस क्वेश्चन। Please attempt this question very quickly. It is a very, very easy question. Yes, yes. That is what I'm trying to teach you also, that you have to focus on current affairs and you will get a lot of questions when it comes to species from that. Chaliye, please give me the answer to this question. Consider the following kinds of organism: bat, bee, bird. Very easy. The answer is D. Next question. Next question. The answer is D, Indu. All of these. Consider the following statement. Which of the above are naturally found in India? Which of the above are naturally found in India? कैच क्या है इसमें? कैच क्या है इसमें? चीता, right? The catch here is cheetah. I just know that cheetah is being reintroduced. Cheetah is planning to be reintroduced. Why is cheetah being planned to be reintroduced? Because it is extinct in India. Bas. If I know this, I eliminate 2 from here, 2 from here, 2 from here. My answer is B. My answer is B. Also, I know that flying squirrel is found in India. Snow leopard is also found in India. So even if I go by 3 and 4 only, I will find the areas where 3 and 4 is found, and the answer will be B. Chaliye, now coming to another important animal, which is the snow leopard. Now snow leopard also is extremely, where exactly from Africa are you getting चीता? कोई बता सकता है कहाँ से चीता मंगवाया जा रहा है और भारत में कहाँ पर लाया जा रहा है? Which is the place from where the cheetah are being brought up? Which is the place from where the cheetahs are being brought up in India? Tanzania? Namibia? Is it Namibia or Namibia? Is it Namibia or Namibia? One second, there is some technical error. All. Chaliye. So now coming to this particular program, which is extremely important, which is for the snow leopard. The snow leopard conservation centers are to be established in Uttarakhand. Therefore, we are reading about this particular animal. There has been conservation efforts for snow leopards. It is funded by Global Environment Facility. How many of you know that Global Environment Facility? What is Global Environment Facility? How many of you know about the Global Environment Facility? How many of you know about the Global Environment Facility? All right. It is part of the UNFCCC, which is like the financial arm which helps for the protection efforts. Now about the snow leopards, very quickly let us revise. It is a Schedule 1 animal. It is vulnerable, not critically endangered. It is vulnerable. It is vulnerable. Where it is found in India? It is found in Jammu and Kashmir, Ladakh, Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Sikkim and Arunachal Pradesh. Alright. and then this area contributes to 5% of the global snow leopards. Global snow leopards, and you have these particular areas where snow leopards are found, which can come in your exam, such as the Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve, you have the Gangotri National Park and the Ascot Wildlife Sanctuary. Extremely important. All of these three locations from where the snow leopards population is, snow leopard population is trying to be revived by the government of India. So these are the three, even if you don't know the details, if you do not know the details, then you need to know about these three projects which are related to the snow leopards. The first one being the Project Snow Leopard, which is for the conservation of habitat. All right. Next is GSLEP, which is Global Snow Leopards and Ecosystem Protection Program. GSLEP, Global Snow Leopard and Ecosystem Protection Program. Now this is important because here you have participating countries. How many of you have heard about GSLEP? How many of you have heard of GSLEP? How many of you know about GSLEP? African cheetahs, no. African cheetahs are not critically endangered. African cheetahs are not critically endangered. African cheetahs are in fact, I think they are near threatened or endangered, and they basically are being introduced in India. All right. In India they are extinct. Chaliye. So GSLEP has participant countries such as Afghanistan, Bhutan, China, India, Kazakhstan. Please write it down. Afghanistan, Bhutan, China, India, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyz Republic, Mongolia, Nepal, Pakistan, Russian Federation, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. And the third program for snow leopards is the population assessment done by Government of India. These three programs are extremely important apart from creating larger landscapes. And in larger landscapes you have the Hemis Spiti, extremely important biological location when it comes to flora and fauna, which is Hemis Spiti. Please attempt this question. Asians are. I'm talking about Africa. Ankit, Asians are. Chaliye, consider the following statement. Bataiye, answer to this. Anybody? Alright. So here the important species was actually leatherback turtle when this question was framed. That is when this particular animal was in news. And the answer to this is 1 and 2 only. Now again, Again, Bhavani, yes. You have to understand this question was framed in the year 2013. 2013, and the answers are according to that. What is something that I understand from these particular type of questions, that if I remember the critically endangered, then it becomes easy for me right now to spot the endangered or vulnerable, etc. Do you get the whole rationale of identifying the species first? Do you see the rationale here? All right. So therefore, we need to identify the important species. Please attempt this question. Please attempt this question. All right. I've got one answer from Amit, 2 and 3, okay, which is from Bhavani. Star tortoise, monitor lizard, pygmy hog. Which among the following are found in India? We have confirmed, we have recently studied that pygmy hog is found in India. So I will look for options which has 3 in it. All right. Star tortoise, monitor lizard. Now, have you heard of monitor lizard? Monitor lizard remains in news as one of the important lizards. The answer to this is A. I think a lot of you gave the answer A. Few gave the answer 2 and 3. Let us see the reason for coming to this answer. Now, coming to the Indian star tortoise, why this question was asked in the year 2013 was because of this particular threatened species. This was a threatened species of tortoise which is found in the India and Pakistan region along with Sri Lanka. So here I know that these two are found in India. Star tortoise, since exactly, Shweta, exactly my point. Why am I not simply giving you question and answer? I am giving you the notes on species, important species which are either in news or are critically endangered, because that is how you can eliminate these kind of questions. Otherwise, I don't even know where spider monkey is found. I don't even know whether spider monkey is found. How will I do it in the exam? You can do it in the exam only by following this formula. 1, in current, what are the species in news? Second, what are the species which are important in general? So what are these kind of species? Either they are critically endangered or they are facing extinction or threat due to habitat loss. If I know this, then it will be easy for you. All right. Does it make sense? Does it make sense? This is how you have to prepare the questions when it comes to different type of species. Now, this particular species, which is Great Indian Bustard. We all know about the Great Indian Bustard. Now, Great Indian Bustard is a critically endangered. We have already done that. It is part of Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act. Then it is also found in the Indian subcontinent. It is found in the eastern Pakistan. The problem with this particular species is recently, why it can be asked in your exam, recently you had an initiative called as Firefly Bird Diverter. How many of you have heard of this? How many of you have heard of this? Thank you so much, Magdoom. Shweta, I think I could help you in understanding how to remember all of these. All right. Chaliye. So we had the Firefly Bird Diverter. What is it used for? So because of the overhead lines, a lot of birds were actually getting killed. a lot of birds. So this was an initiative by the Ministry of Environment and Forest for the conservation, and here the flaps were installed to divert the birds from coming near the lines. So since this is an initiative which is in news, this animal becomes important. So what do I need to remember about this animal? One, IUCN status, that I have understood, status in Wildlife Sanctuary or Wildlife Protection Act, right? Wildlife Protection Act. Then you have the important sites. What are the important sites? You have Desert National Park Sanctuary in Rajasthan, you have Nalia in Gujarat, you have Varoda in Maharashtra, and Bellary in Karnataka. So now I know the locations also, and I know the states also where I am going to find this particular animal. Now, the habitat where it is most often found is arid and semi-arid grassland. Do you remember the question on gazelle? The very confusing. So now I understood it is found in the arid, semi-arid grassland region. Grassland region, which is also called as the ecotone region. Which is also called the ecotone region. It is also found in the open country region, which thorn and scrubs. One of the major animals of species recovery program. Species recovery program. How many species were there? 22. And Great Indian Bustard is also part of that. It is also facing habitat destruction. It is also facing habitat destruction. Now coming to the tiger population. Every alternate year, every 2-3 years, you get a question on tigers. Now I am going to give you the details on the conservation efforts of the tiger, what is the status of the tiger, and what exactly are the efforts done recently. Natural habitat or losses due to man can grow those plants are not suited for bust. No. Habitat loss का मतलब होता है, फॉर एग्जाम्पल इनको ग्रासलैंड्स में रहने की आदत है, तो अगर आप ग्रासलैंड्स का इकोसिस्टम डिस्ट्रॉय कर रहे हैं, या फिर वहां पर कोई वाटर बॉडी है जो कि बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, एंड दैट वाटर बॉडी यू आर नॉट कीपिंग इट क्लीन. फॉर एग्जाम्पल रिसेंटली सांभर लेक में जो पॉइजनिंग हुई थी, बिकॉज ऑफ विच अ लॉट ऑफ बर्ड्स वर डाइंग. हैव यू कम अक्रॉस दिस न्यूज? Have you come across this news? Due to bacteria. Due to bacteria. Alright, आपका इकोलाई बैक्टीरिया वहां पे बढ़ गया था और उसकी वजह से सांभर में पॉइजनिंग हुई थी. तो दिस इज ऑल्सो एन एग्जाम्पल ऑफ हैबिटेट डिस्ट्रक्शन. हैबिटेट डिस्ट्रक्शन नेचुरल भी हो सकता है और मैनमेड भी हो सकता है. आप अमित जो बात कर रहे हैं वो एक वन ऑफ द मेनी एग्जाम्पल्स ऑफ नेचुरल हैबिटेट लॉसेस हो सकता है. ऑलराइट, चलिए. सो व्हेन इट कम्स टू टाइगर, तो हमारे पास दो इनिशिएटिव्स हैं, एम स्ट्राइप्स एंड कैटरैट. एम स्ट्राइप्स एंड कैटरैट. ऑलराइट, एम स्ट्राइप्स में क्या होता है? इट बेसिकली स्टैंड्स फॉर मॉनिटरिंग सिस्टम फॉर टाइगर्स. मॉनिटरिंग सिस्टम फॉर टाइगर्स, इसमें हम क्या यूज करते हैं? जीपीएस, और हम इसमें टैगिंग करते हैं टाइगर्स की. We tag tigers so that we can have a better assessment. Second तरीका होता है कैमरा ट्रैप डेटा रिकवरी, ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज कैट ट्रैप. इसमें हम क्या करते हैं? हम सेग्रीगेशन करते हैं फोटोज का. जो कैमराज होते हैं उनमें जो मल्टीपल फोटोज आती हैं टाइगर्स की, बेस्ड ऑन द पैटर्न ऑफ स्ट्राइप्स. कोई भी दो टाइगर्स का बिल्कुल सेम स्ट्राइप्स का पैटर्न नहीं होता, तो उसके बेसिस पर हम डिफरेंट टाइप्स के जो टाइगर हैं, alright, Nagarjun, okay. Even I feel it's okay if I continue in English, but there are students who are not comfortable with English, so I'll try to keep it bilingual. Alright, chaliye. So you basically tag different types of tigers based on the different photographs that you get. Which is the state which has the highest tiger population? You have Madhya Pradesh, then you have Uttarakhand, All right. Yes, yes. I'm sure Bhavani Harsh would have covered it recently. For those who do not know, you need to know about these two initiatives. You have MP, you have Uttarakhand, then you have Karnataka as one of the major states which have tiger population. All right. Chaliye. So when it comes to tiger, there was this particular tiger reserve which was in news, and this particular tiger reserve was Navegaon Nagira. Navegaon Nagzira Tiger Reserve. How many of you have heard of this tiger reserve? So you should know the location. It is found in Maharashtra. It is found in Maharashtra, and this tiger reserve is a combination of Navegaon National Park, Navegaon Wildlife Sanctuary, Nagzira Wildlife Sanctuary, New Nagzira Wildlife Sanctuary, and you have Koka Wildlife Sanctuary. ये सारी wildlife sanctuaries I need to remember because sometimes they ask you that which of these are part of the Navegaon Nagzira Tiger Reserve. So I should have an idea. See, these have the first names. These have the first names anyways. So this is easy. You only need to remember the Koka Wildlife Sanctuary here. Alright. Now, it has connectivity with major tiger reserve. कौन से major tiger reserve हैं सेंट्रल इंडिया के? कान्हा एंड पेंच. कान्हा एंड पेंच are the tiger reserves which are found in Madhya Pradesh. All right. Then you have beta, if you have any academic or study related question, then it is fine. Otherwise, these students have really invested their time, their money into preparing for this exam. So at least honor them, and I think the students will also agree. All right. Chale. Now coming to next tiger reserve, which is Tadoba Andheri Tiger Reserve and Indravati Tiger Reserve. All right. These are the tiger reserves which are adjacent to this particular, and the main forest type is southern tropical dry deciduous. Even if I do not know, just remember it has dry deciduous type forest. Dry deciduous type forest. All right. Please answer this question. Please answer this question. Please answer this question. I think easy. Tiger reserve. What is the catch? Can anyone tell me what is the catch here? What is the catch here? Why is it an easy question? Because the catch here is Bhitarkanika. Am I right? The catch here is Bhitarkanika. Why Bhitarkanika is a catch? Because one, it is not a tiger reserve. It is known for crocodile. It is known for crocodile. So if I know about this, then it will be very easy for me to know that the remaining are tiger reserve. Do everyone agree to this? Chaliye. Chaliye. Can you please answer this question? Can you please answer this question? Can you please answer this question? Indu, what do you want me to explain, beta? Which part? Indu, what do you want me to explain? Previous question. All right. So Bhitarkanika, Indu, is a location which is known for saltwater crocodiles. It is an important Ramsar wetland site. So since it is an important Ramsar wetland site, you have to know about this site. But rest of these, if I know that this is not a tiger reserve, if I eliminate 2, all the other options have 2, only B option does not have 2, and hence you can come to the answer. Chale. All right. So which of the following states, in which of the following states do I find lion-tailed macaque? Lion-tailed macaque in the natural habitat, and it says Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh. Now, why it is a concern? Because I get lion-tailed macaque in Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. How many of you have heard about the lion-tailed macaque? How many of you have heard about the lion-tailed macaque? All right. So, if I know about lion-tailed macaque, which is an important species which remains in news, it remains in news. I understand one thing. That I need to know the habitat. If I know about the habitat, I can answer this question. Now, I know that it is part of the Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, and Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve does not include Andhra Pradesh. So very honestly, this question was more of a geography question, a map marking question, then coming a question from the species, and from that point of view, I can simply write that Andhra Pradesh is the area which is not the natural habitat for lion-tailed macaque. How many of you have understood the approach for questions like this? What have I used here? The approach I've used here is know the species which is in news. I understood that there is a species called as lion-tailed macaque which is in news. Then find the location where they are found. I found the location where they are found. Then find the type of forest, right, and their status. If I know about these 1, 2, 3, 4 things, any type of questions which is related to species becomes extremely easy. How many of you agree, right? So any question related to species then becomes extremely easy. Now please answer this question. Again, a very common sense or question which can be done by the deduction method. Please answer this question. Anybody? Now this is about elephants. Let us first understand why this question was asked. This is a recent question. This question was asked for 2 reasons. How many of you have come across the news that a lot of elephants were killed on railway tracks? Second thing which was in news is that you are creating elephant corridors. That you are creating elephant corridors. Now, since you are creating elephant corridors and a lot of elephants are dying in the railway tracks, then also because of electrocution, a lot of elephants were dying. Because of all of these factors, this particular animal was in news. Now, what they have asked is, they have asked a little difficult question. A difficult question for the fact that they are asking about the behavior of this particular animal. So, the leader of the elephant group is a female, is something which I think was the most easy one. Always remember, mostly in the animal kingdom, mostly in the forest system, it is the female which leads the pack. Whether it is for the hyenas, it is for the elephants, even if it is for the lions, tigers, you generally have females which lead the pack, especially for the elephants. Now, maximum gestation period can be 22 months. Now, this was supposed to be avoided. You have to first find the options which have 1 as their option. So, here there are 2 statements which have 1 of their options, and it is 1 and 2 only, and 1, 3 and 4. Now, they can go calving till the age of 40 years only. Again, we are not sure about this. And then, among which state the highest elephant population is. So, I can be sure about only 2 things. One, about this point, and about this point. Rest, I have to, Sachin, what exactly is your query? What exactly is your query? Chaliye. So, I can be sure about these 2 things only. So, the answer to this is actually A. Solution is A, that no, the highest population, I think, was given by some student also, that the highest population is not in Kerala. It is not in Kerala, but Karnataka. Hence, the 4th option is also removed. It is also removed. Please try to attempt this question. Okay, the catch here would have been minivets. Minivets is a variety of bird. Minivets are the type of birds, different types of birds actually. And always remember, birds, yes, whoever has answered A are correct. Birds actually were in news at that time. Minivets were in news at that time. If you remember, this is a slightly older question, but you would have come across a news that a group of minivets were actually found dead due to air pollution, severe air pollution. The birds were literally dropping on the streets. Did anyone come across that news? So since they were a group of minivets, they actually picked up the word there, and then they actually gave this very confusing words into what is the category. They have not asked about the area. They have not asked about the kind of IUCN status, but they have simply asked you what are they? Are they birds, primates, reptiles, amphibians? etc. So here you have to understand the catch is anything which is in current, anything which is in current and has a different name, you have to keep it in mind. These are a little fluke kind of questions. Please try to attempt the next question. Please try to attempt the next question. If you want, you can go through, I have taken the source also from where this question would have been asked. It is from the Hindu from Muhammad Salim and team. There was a report on these birds, and from there they have actually asked this question. All right, please try to attempt this particular question. I think easy question. Easy question. What is the catch in this question? Come on, jaldi. What is the catch? I am talking about musk deer. Where do I find musk deer? Musk deer is found in cold conditions. Musk deer is found in cold conditions, in Kashmir-like conditions. Are musk deer used for making perfumes? Are musk deer used for making perfumes? Right? So when I say Kashmir-like conditions, it does not mean it will only be found in Kashmir. You can find it in Kashmir, you can find it in Himachal Pradesh, Uttarakhand, etc. But they can definitely not be found in Manas National Park. Manas National Park. So if I remove these two, which has fourth option in it, I know that Ascot and Gangotri are the regions. हाँ, कस्तूरी मृग बोला जाता है इसको. Kasturi is a perfume also. If you visit Kashmir, you find these small itra bottles of kasturi. The thing is, I am sure about Manas National Park not being the place where I find this, but where exactly is this Kishanpur Wildlife Sanctuary? Can anyone tell me where is Kishanpur Wildlife Sanctuary? Kishanpur Wildlife Sanctuary. अब दिक्कत क्या है? If I don't know about this location, I know that these two are in the Himalayan region, so they can be an answer, but I am not sure about the Kishanpur. Kishanpur is actually in Uttar Pradesh. Can I find musk deer in Uttar Pradesh? I cannot find musk deer in Uttar Pradesh. So what will be my answer? My answer will be A. My answer will be A. Ankit, Uttarakhand or Himachal Pradesh for what? You can find musk deer in either of these locations. In either of these locations. Alright. So I know that these are Himalayan protected areas which are found in the Himalayan region. I know that this is not exactly the northern Himalayan region where I find this particular deer, but Kishanpur Wildlife Sanctuary cannot have musk deer because it is in the UP, which is the plain region. Alright. Please attempt this question. Please attempt this question. I think extremely easy question, shouldn't take you much time. Shouldn't take you much time. Please attempt this question. It is about the India's Desert National Park. It is about the Desert National Park. What is the catch? What is the catch? I think the first catch is no human habitation. No human habitation inside the park. Second, it is one of the national habitats. So I know that this is true. I know that 3 is 100% true. So if I know 3 is 100% true, this is gone. So I have B option, C option and D option. Alright. The catch here, I think everyone has found out, is the second option, that no human habitation. No human habitation. So you have human habitation. Buffer area allows in the national park human habitation. Therefore, you also have the human and wildlife conflict. Have you come across these terms, human and wildlife conflict? Right? So because of that, the answer would be C. Now please attempt, yes, Indu, correct answer. Please attempt the next question, which is about the Asiatic lion and a camel. What is the catch here? What is the catch here? The term only. The catch here is the term only. The term only. So when I say double humped camel, even if I remember the cartoon series जो बचपन में आती थी, Simba and all of that. So in that also, if you remember, double humped camel actually are not found in India, are found apart from India, and you have to, as your homework, is it found only in India? Double humped, does your camel have two humps? Or does it sound more like Arabian Nights? Right? I know that Asiatic lion is found only in India. We are not confused here, right? This I'm sure. Right? One-horned rhinoceros is naturally found in India only. This is a concern. This is a concern. So the answer here is A actually. It is A. Why? Because you have the Asia, Central Asian region where I find the two-humped camel. If you want, you can write this. The two-humped camel, also called as the Bactrian camel, is found in the Central Asian cold region. And when it comes to rhinoceros, the Javan rhinoceros is called the lesser one-horned rhinoceros, and the Indian rhinoceros is called the greater one-horned rhinoceros. So that makes two locations for one-horned rhinoceros. Now, why do you think this question came? This question came because have you come across the news that the last Javan rhinoceros last Javan rhinoceros is dead. So because of this particular news, they gave you a question framing on the natural locations for rhinoceros, and India alone is not the location. Now last question, please attempt this question, and then I want to have a small discussion with you. Please attempt this question. Do you have Asiatic lions right now in Iran, Bhavani? Bhavani beta, Asiatic lions are only found in Gir now. Only in Gir. Chaliye. Some of the species of turtle are herbivores. Some species of fish are herbivores. Some species of marine mammals are herbivores. Some species of snakes are viviparous. Do you consider it a difficult question? I think extremely easy question from our end. The solution is D. Now, before concluding the class, I want to ask you, there are two ways. To for me to continue the previous year question session, and I will simply go by the popular poll. One is taking up No, beta loss. So that is not the answer. The answer is D. All of these are there. I'll remove myself. So in case if you want to write the solution also, you can write. Now, how do you want me to proceed? The way I proceeded today, that is taking up a question, trying to teach you all the concepts regarding it, and then coming to other questions, or you simply wanted in a question answer format? Because I think in topics which are very current affairs driven, we should get an idea from where the source is, what can be the other possible questions which can be found or which can be made from that particular area. So do you agree to this type of pattern, or do you want it to be absolutely question answer based? We'll go by the majority vote. We'll go by the majority vote, because I want that once your PYQs are done, you should go home with not just the answer. See, PYQs are available everywhere, but you should be able to learn something extra. Simply by knowing that the red type of vulture is critically endangered is not important. Are the other type of vultures, what is their status and what is their concern? If there is any other program which is going on, that is important, because that will come in the exam. So I think I'm getting yeses on the kind of PYQs pattern that I have taken. So I'll continue with this. All right, I'll continue with this. Now, from today's class, if anyone has any doubt which is academic in nature, please let me know. If anyone has any doubt which is academic in nature, please let me know. All right, Yunita, all right, Indu, I'll continue with this pattern. All right. So, does anyone have any doubt? And this is a request for me as a teacher. When you find people who are not serious in the chats, you have to understand they are wasting your time than anyone else. You are the students who have to, appear for this year's exam. And nobody has the right to waste your time. Absolutely nobody. All right. So you make sure that the chat remains clean. Can I expect that from my students? Chaliye. So we'll meet tomorrow. Tomorrow I will help you with the agriculture related questions. We'll see the basic from where the agriculture questions are formed, what kind of questions can be formed this year. And if you have any doubt, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll call this session off. Thank you so much. I had a very great time. You are a great class. We'll meet again. We'll meet again tomorrow. Whatever, see, I'm not saying take any actions or anything. All I'm saying is chaliye chhodiye, let's concentrate on the study. See, I don't want to touch sites right now, Sushmita. I do not want to touch sites right now, because it will be a lengthy topic. I'll give you the list if you want. Because I need to teach sites. I cannot simply go on with that. All right, chaliye, thank you so much. Have a great day. All the best. If you have any doubt, please do reach out to me. I take classes for science and technology and environment and ecology. I'll be more than happy to help you with your preparation. All the very best, very best for your exam. All right, thank you so much. All right, Yunita, I'll just try to keep that in mind. As you know, there are many students who get a little uncomfortable with the language.